What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Ultravox, and we're returning to Lament, 1984. Thank you again to Phil for sharing this and much, much else. And the next song is One Small Day, which is an interesting phrase. It seems to suggest that the day in question is, by comparison with other days, smaller. Somehow it features less. And so given that days in a literal sense, or a temporal sense, are for the most part identical in their length, and in terms of a day in human experience, I suppose there could be differences in size. But yes, it's a phrase that seems like it could be more poetic or figurative. Of course, some days you do many things, some days you don't do much, some days a lot of things happen externally or happen to you, whereas other days might be, by comparison, tranquil and placid. So I feel like there's meanings I could hear and not be surprised by, but I don't quite know how to take it, and obviously there's no further context in the title, so let's give it a listen and see what I can pick up. This is Ultravox, the song is One Small Day, and it's from their 1984 album Lament. That's a tune. I like that one a lot. I'll try to start with the lyrics. I didn't hear everything clearly, but it sounds like a hopeful song, a song that acknowledges the suffering and the difficulties and things feeling like they're against you, or they haven't been good for people on a broader sense or in a broader sense, but hoping that one day we'll walk together again, things will turn right, even if it's just for one small day, even if things are much more difficult most of the time, we can still strive for and hope for, and maybe one day, one small day, experience the other side of that, things being harmonious, things being tranquil, and getting what you deserve in a good sense, and not feeling like everything's against you, or the tides of fate haven't worked out for you. So it feels like it's acknowledging the difficulties, the struggles, and the capricious nature of life and reality, but striving to reach, to attain, to touch things on the other side of that, the, again, tranquil, harmonious, and positive. So in that respect, it feels uplifting despite referring to the struggles, which, in a way, like, gives it a thematic blues type quality. Sonically, it's really interesting. It feels like, over the course of the track, I was thinking, like, if you took a U2 track, one of their more transcendent tunes, mixed it with a bit of, like, mid-80s Echo and the Bunnymen, maybe threw in a dash of Tears for Fears, you'd get something like this. Maybe even, and this will make less sense to people, but, like, less than a single percent, but just a little dab of, like, Gary Newman in the verses, but then, like, in the chorus, again, more U2, more Echo and the Bunnymen, more Tears for Fears. If you put all of that into an equation, and, like, what would come out the other end is a song like this. So again, that's just my personal associations and doing all these different deep dives at the same time. Sometimes I hear corollaries or associations, or I make associations. But yeah, as I said, it feels a little bit like those different ingredients, but still very much in Ultravox's own way. I think Mid sounds great on the vocals, absolutely transcendent in the same way that the chorus, in particular, I love the chorus here. It really makes you feel uplifted and gives you that sense of, what, it's still possible to hope and dream for and strive for the positive, and that things may turn good, again, even if only for one small day. So yeah, I feel hopeful after listening to a tune like this. I really, really enjoyed this one. Curious to hear what other people have to say. Let me know, and I will see you next time. Peace.